What's up, people? 8:38 at night, aka 9:38 at night, because of the time change, aka Mr. Lang in the house, gonna make ya a video on the lesson. Make sure headphones. Also make sure you try the problems. Okay, the lesson is only worth it if you try the problems. Okay, thanks. All right, here are some warm-up problems to try. Press pause, try these on your own. Can you find the x and y intercept for these equations? And if you do not recall, the x-intercept is where it crosses the x-axis. So there is an x number, but that means the y number is 0 and vice versa. The y-intercept would be where this crosses the y-axis, so the x would be 0. Pause it. Good luck. All right, how'd you do? All right, first one, we'll do it in blue. The x-intercept, again, I'm going to find x when y is 0. So that would be like I plug in 0 for y. This disappears because 10 times 0 is 0. And I'm left with 5 times what is 20? That would be 4. All right, and then the y-intercept I will do in green. That's the y number when x is 0. So plug in 0 there. It all goes bye-bye. And you're left with 10 times what is 20. You can do that in your head. That is 2. First one, easy one. Next one. Notice there's a negative sign there trying to mess with you. Same deal. X number when y is 0. Plug in 0. 10 times 0 is 0. You're left with 5 times what is 30. That would be 6. Plug in 0 for x to find the y-intercept. Ooh, be careful. That negative sign is there, still there. So negative 10 times what would turn into a positive 30? Well, a negative times a negative would be a positive. So negative 10 times negative 3. All right. Next one. I think some people probably noticed from 8th grade that this is in y equals mx plus b. However, that doesn't change the process. Okay. What is an intercept? It doesn't change. It's the x number when y is 0. So if you do that, plug in 0 there, I would have 0 equals negative 1/2 of what plus 2? Well, I can just solve that. Subtract 2, subtract 2. Get negative 2 equals negative 1/2 x. Multiply by the reciprocal, which would be negative 2 over 1. Cross that out, multiply by negative 2 over 1, or just negative 2. So you get the x would be positive 4. Okay, same method, just takes a lot more time, doesn't it? And then the next one, the y-intercept, that's when x is 0, what is the y number? This one is much easier, because you plug in 0 there. Negative 1/2 times 0 is still 0. Oh, you're just literally left with y equals 2. Okay, so that is the benefit of the b number. That's the y-intercept. All right, and then the last one, we plug in one more time. 0 for y. Plug it in up above. So I have 0 equals 1/2 of what minus 3. Add the 3 to the other side. 3 equals 1/2 of what? Hopefully you know the answer is 6 right there. 1/2 of what is 3? But you could technically times by 2 over 1 and times by 2 over 1 and get 6 over 1 or 6. All right, so that's the x-intercept. We plug in 0 for y. Well, then we come in and plug 0 for x. Again, this should be easy because only thing left is negative 3. Okay, so just some intercept warm-up for you. All right, moving on. This should look familiar. All right, bank account. We got some changes going on here. We're like, first of all, it's like, whoa, it definitely goes down some money. Then it goes down again. Then it stays the same, so there's 0 change. And then last but not least, it goes down again. So this account is going down. This person is spending some money. Okay, well, the first one, it goes down 50 to 500, then 200 to 300, then another 15. So 250 and 15, it goes down 265. But up here, the X, it's 5 days. So remember, X is almost always the time. Y is almost always the cost. So if we think change in Y over change in X, then we get, in this first one, negative 265 in 5 days. I'll have to come back and do some math on that later. Next one, that would be down $75, but that was in 10 days. All right, so down 75 in 10 days. The next one, it was 0 in 10 days, 0 in not 10 days, but 6 days. Still equals 0 regardless. And then the last one was down 25, 35 in 8 days. So negative 35 over 8. So if we did those divisions, you can probably tell this has the biggest change and double whammy in the shortest amount of time. So right here, right off the get-go, that's where they spent the most money on average. Right here. Okay, the greatest rate of change. Speaking of rate of change, and speaking of the idea of change in Y over change in X, so let's think about this for a second. I have to do the Y first here. So it was 4, and now it's 0. Oh, so it went down 4. Well, let me ask you, how can you take the number 0 and the number 4 and get negative 4? Oh, well then I would have to do 0 minus 4, right, would give me the negative 4. Okay, and then we have the change of X. Well, okay, X current is 0. Now it's 6. Oh, that's positive 6. All right, so in this problem, we would get a slope of negative 4 over 6. Well, how does 0 and 6 add up equaling 6? Well, you could do 0 plus 6, or I could do 6 minus 0 would still equal 6. So, let's take a look here. I did the y2 and I minus the y1, but in this one I could do the x2 minus the x1. Oh, did we just figure out the formula? The formula for slope is you subtract the y's to get the change in y. You subtract them, and then same thing the x's. It's the same idea, change of x. So as long as we do the change in y over the change of x, we will end up getting the slope. So let's try it. What would be the slope between these 2 points? Before we use the formula, don't forget, these are points. All of you know how to graph this. Let's just draw a quick little sketch. -2, -4, so down here, 1, 2, 3, 4, positive 6, 2. Okay? First and foremost, you better end up getting a positive slope. That thing is going up. So even without calculating it or trying to use the formula or trying to count the rise over the run, doesn't it rise less than it runs? So it's going to be a smaller number divided by a bigger number, okay, with the rise over run. So I can already tell this is going to be a fraction. This is going to be a fraction answer. I haven't even done anything. It's just using a little logic. So the smartest thing to do is to just mark them. x1, y1, and then x2, y2, and we will do the, keeping it consistent, we will do the y's in the green highlighter, the y's, and we will do the x's in the yellow highlighter. Okay, so referring to our formula once again, it is the change in y over the change of x, y2 minus y1. So y2 in this problem is 2 minus y1 is -4. Okay, so remember those minus signs are there. That's there, that's there, that's what I plugged in. The minus signs here up above on the formula, those are part of the formula. I didn't put those there, they're part of the formula. Okay, then the bottom one, we do change in x, so x2, which is 6, minus x1, which is -2. And we said we do those in yellow, so 6 and -2. All right, so the reason I picked this one is because kids struggle with minus a negative, okay? Well, think about it. If this was money, you have $2 and you owe someone, you owe $4, so you're $4 in the hole. But you take that away. So $2 take away -$4. So you owe. So take away what you owe. It's like you gained 4 in the process. So $6 swing. So anyways, minus a negative, most kids come in and switch that to plus a positive. So we end up with up 6 because it's a positive and over 8 because it's a positive. So 6 over 8, you can always simplify, or 3 over 4. Or you could do the decimal, which isn't as helpful because you don't want to go up 0.75 unless you're talking about money, maybe like up 75 cents. All right, so that's the slope formula one final time. Y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Practice it, make sure you get it right, and then, hey, when you're done, check the answers to see if you actually got it right. So, don't forget, these are points. You could just draw a sketch and get an idea, just like you guys did awesome on your homework the other day. All right, I'm going to go to bed. I got to get up with a crying baby. Good luck tomorrow. See you on the other side.